Hi there, welcome back to the Veach Cave mystery case. Today, I just wanted to set the record straight, spread awareness, and further reinforce the importance of conservation, of archiving key footage of hikes, research by hikers themselves or those online. It's important to archive it so then future people can always look back at it, and it can serve and help those who may be hiking out there in the future, who may be influenced in a positive way, but also needing the knowledge to know what to do, right? So I'm just going to be explaining the current situation because there's the odd person in the background whinging, whining, getting over emotional. And, once again, one simply defends themselves and explains the current situation like how I've always have done. So that's simply it. Welcome to those that are currently here in the live premiere. Be sure to share your thoughts, opinions, reactions in the live chat box. And if you do join later, a different day, leave your comments down below in the comments section. So this is mainly regarding a fellow former investigator within the Veach Cave case community. Their channel goes by the name Artari. A link will be provided down below to their channel if you do wish to check them out. They're known for artistic creations, maybe some storytelling, visually as well, exploration, travel, paintings, drawings. If you're interested in any of that as well as nature, well, feel free to check the link down below, Artari. But at least back then, when she was involved in the case, quite full on, hands-on, but showing quite a bit of empathy as well, all round, as well as understanding. Even when theories may have been wrong, incorrect, proven wrong later, she still showed a form of understanding without being cocky, without having an attitude problem. It was reasonable, an okay person. But then over time, a shift in behaviour, just like everybody else as we've seen in the cycle. A shift in behaviour, a shift in attitude, drastic, fast, sometimes erratic, just out of nowhere, right? And when it does happen, it's like trying to understand what's happened, picking up the pieces as you go along. It can take time, right? So it looks like once again, Artari has got triggered, okay? Bit over emotional, a bit impetuous as well, and it'll make more sense shortly, okay? Brief backstory, really Robin's hike footage, re-upload in acknowledgement of Robin, credit given to Robin as well. That's all formally there, of course, even mentioned at the start of the video and even in the description too, simple as. A re-upload of deleted footage from the past, right? It was important. It's a hike. It's a part of the case. You start removing, taking bits away, it makes it harder to trace it all and to look back at stuff. You start peeling things away and it's just taking it vanishes with time. Look, we've seen it with the Dylan Rounds case on a greater scale. Salty Pancakes channel terminated. No Thanks channel dug, terminated. And what came in line with that was their previous videos and investigation on the case, the interviews with such as family members or footage out there hiking about, searching, all gone, all deleted, right? The channel owner may have messed up and done something bad, but because of their reckless actions, it's had a negative impact and consequence on all their hard work they've done prior, right? If there's any shape or form at any time where you can actually archive it and show it in some way to the rest of the general public so it doesn't get negatively harmed, it's a good thing to do, right? In the Dylan Rounds case, I did document stuff along the way, certain screenshots, certain analysis of hikes, angles, perspectives, right? So when things did get deleted, we still had some images laying about so I could present to you. So it wasn't all entirely lost. There are still things there. Same exact thing with Veach. That's where it all originated from, things disappearing. Sometimes people purposely making the choice to delete them, but not always with a clear answer as to why. So it's left to interpretation. And then other times, maybe things have been taken out of one's hand, unable to control certain factors. It's a bit wacky, it's a bit wild. So that's like the backstory there. And because of this such footage from Robin, a hike from the past, re-uploaded now, someone like Artari isn't too pleased with it. Okay, she's not exactly positive. Now, it sounds like one is supposed to follow orders from somebody. As said in the past, there was a time where Artari demanded for me to apologise to them, like some kind of like little dog on the ground. Kind of a bit random and odd that, but it is what it was at the time. Was there anything else in between? You just wonder, I'm just providing a bit of backstory so you know what's happened in the past. I mean, maybe we can get into that shortly. But why would one be so upset, triggered by footage like this being uploaded? Well, their points coming across was, why are you re-uploading it? You're just copying, you're just uploading other people's footage. It's not the first time. Right, so what we're seeing there is basically a behavioural shift. Over time, when one was able to, when there was people consciously present and there as well to respond back, I did ask for permission. I did say, can this be done? Can that be done? Etc., etc. And it was welcomed. It was allowed. Times where there's no response or there's no presence, what can you do, right? What I've always had in mind, pure mentality mindset, awkward moments and times where there's just no way of getting through to them because they're literally not there. You upload what you do, you transform it in your own unique way, following guidelines, you add your own twist and spin to it. And then if ever down the line there is any repercussions or any form of resistance from the original individual, it's a simple, fine, I understand, it can be taken down, simple as. It really isn't that much of an issue. But for someone like Artari to act like really Robin's PR, personal secretary, personal representative, like a parrot on one shoulder, I'm thinking, so am I supposed to take orders from you? Someone that's completely given up on the case, walked away from it. Someone like Artari that made many videos over time on the case, her research, her theories and ideas, but then doing a U-turn afterwards, deleting the videos, taking them down. Where's the credibility there? Where's the backbone? There isn't one. You upload this, you say that, whether you're right or wrong, whether you appear as intelligent or a prat. By removing it afterwards, what good does that do? At least with my channel, when I do my videos, whether it's proven right or wrong down the line, they still remain up because it's to archive and it's like historical records of how things played out, what I was like back then, what I said, what I did, and how it compares to now, whether it's positive or negative. People can always look back at it. What's the point trying to cover up the cracks and trying to remove the past over time? What, to make you look better than what you are? I don't see the point in doing that, right? Videos remain up, this remains up, post remains up, it is where it is, okay? And if people want to do the little research in the background, they can if they need to. But basically, for someone to call one out for simply conserving and kind of like protecting the evidence and findings along the way, and someone doesn't like that, opposed to it, and also said by the person that has deleted their own videos over time, it just seems a little bit inconsistent there, which is kind of unfortunate, right? And then the bit referring back to where did the footage come from, and this can tie in line with maybe Jeff Clark's question here and there in between, okay? Just so it's a bit more clear to understand. You had really Robin in the past, the original, the proper person, the real really Robin. They did what they did for a short length of time, then went quiet, then disappeared afterwards. Not directly with a clear answer either. Is what it is, kind of unfortunate, but also mysterious and dodgy. So you can't blame others for acting or thinking all kinds of stuff with different theories and ideas when one departed in such an odd way. You know, one thing, reaction leads to an action. Just same old stuff, action, reaction, reaction, action, okay? So with that going away the channel, the original one, and the videos as well, fast forward maybe a year on or maybe longer, I really can't remember, the second account shows up, Really Robin. You know, some people think it's the real one, many others think it's a fake. I think it's a fake as well, but that supposed fake account actually re-uploaded that entire hike footage themselves. So for people to call me out, I'm not even the first one to re-upload, right? It was that other Really Robin account. they uploaded it first, well, re-uploaded it first, whether it be by a fake impersonator or the real Robin. If it really was the real Robin, for them to re-upload it clearly implies that it must have been a mistake in the first place to take it down. So subconsciously, they wanted it up and running publicly. So kind of done him a favour in a way there, if you think of it with that regards. If not, and it's a fake account channel, well, they still re-uploaded it. No one had a go at that person, did they? No one questioned them. In fact, many people were very thankful and grateful. Oh, good, this footage is now up. Now we can look back at it. Now we can research into it and try and understand it, because we didn't have long enough to look at it at the time because it was taken down. Oh, so it's okay when a fake impersonation account re-uploads the footage, but then when someone like me, a long-established channel, oh, no, that's not allowed. And the reason why it becomes very hypocritical is because someone like Artari, who is supposedly defending really Robin whilst calling me out for re-uploading his video, just simply conserving and protecting and archiving all this historical records, which I do think is quite important when learning about the case. You know, what's Artari's thoughts on that other really Robin account previously uploading that full hike footage to their channel, then shortly afterwards, or at a later point, taking it down again, and the only thing that remains in relation to that hike was a 23-second video, right? You know, what's her thoughts on that? Because let's also take in mind, because in the past, Artari was strongly in belief or in hope that that second Really Robin channel was in fact of Really Robin himself. But is there enough proof of that? No. So it could be a load of BS, but it all ties back in again where, okay, so this Robin account shows up, they upload the footage, no harm done, no complaints, no whining, but then I do the same thing just to simply put it up there to spread that awareness, to keep the case alive. Oh, demonize the individual. Just seems very hypocritical from someone like that out there. Okay, I'm sure there'll be quite a few people that will understand this video, but once again, I'm just putting this out here just so people understand, and future people down the line, just to reduce the backlash. There's no harm in doing that, right? Should we look at the comments of the previous video as well? Maybe there's no harm in doing that, just to fill things out, to allow people to chat and join into this video live premiere. Maybe done in a slightly different format today, a bit more talkative, but you know, important discussions like this need to be addressed, okay? As for Jeff Clark, when exactly did one obtain the footage? I can't remember, but reality is, it wouldn't have been that long ago, right? I'm sure it would have been much after, when you tried getting out there looking for the canyons and stuff, etc., right? Because I'm sure after that, that's when the dodgy account showed up. And as well, when that dodgy account was up of Robin, initially the full hike footage was on that channel. So there was no need for me to upload it then, because it was already available elsewhere, right? So there was no form of desperation in, oh, let's get a hold of this footage now and instantly upload it. There was no urgency. Why? Simply because it was already available publicly online. So there's no need for me to make a video on it. But with time, once it disappeared, it's a loss. It's a loss to the case. If there's any chance, any time, any moment where somebody can provide the video, right, slightly edited or not, whatever they have, remnants, then they do so. I mean, what about the other people over time that have uploaded videos, archived videos on the case from others? They didn't get called out. What about the time when, was it DJ Moore, where he uploaded photos or slideshows with the whole audio of the Kenny Veach HLN documentary? No one complained about that. Many people were thankful and grateful what DJ Moore did, because it was good of him to do so, to spread the word and allow people to see it, or at least auditory hear about it, the documentary. So it seems to be very picky and choosy when it comes to Artari, but there'll be others in between. I guess the interesting factor and question one could ask and present out there is, how did one hear about the video if they're not actively participating in the case anyway? Maybe there's little messengers in between. I'm sure there's every chance that you'll get the odd few viewers on my channel, maybe right here, right now. Somewhere in the background, I can see you. I can see you looking in the background. But I'm sure there'll be some out there where they act like little messengers, little bitch boys, you know, typical type of stuff. No worries. Same exact thing happened in the Dylan Rounds case. You mention one word or one name, it summons them from the dead and they show up out of nowhere like a magic trick, because there's always people watching from both sides. So that's how messengers get spread over time, okay? But things can get out of hands at times, as we've seen. So, you know, just to summarize once again, so humans, general public, fully understand, this hike footage was once publicly available in public viewing, then later taken down. Not a true explanation given either. Left to interpretation is where it is. Later point, channel pops up, the real original or a fake imposter. Re-uploaded that hike footage. No complaints, no issues. Then deleted, randomly. Left to interpretation once again. And now, uploaded. To preserve what's been done and who it's been done by, right? I mean, it's not like you're uploading footage of like incriminating evidence of somebody out there. Does that make sense, right? I mean, if Artari wants to complain on and on and on, I mean, there was that one time where Artari, when she shifted away from the Kenny Veach theory idea claim that it was him in the CCTV footage 2018 break-in Las Vegas Reiki healing store, Enchanted Forest, I think it was called. You know, when Artari shifted away from that idea, she then shifted to claiming that the person in the break-in footage was Susan Veach's son, Sean Veach, who passed away, I believe, in 2017 or 2018, around that period. Was there enough proof? No. Could it be considered a bit insensitive or a bit reckless? I guess. I think that might have been the beginning of the downfall between the relationship of Artari and Susan Veach, and that's how it went downhill from there. But one of those things is what it is, kind of unfortunate, but also reckless. So for these people out there to be, standing on a high chair, giving out their orders or their outlook whilst trying to display a form of empathy, but as well reasoning ability, and yet they were the complete opposite in the past and very impetuous as how they're being now, impetuous, as well as being a hypocrite. I mean, as I said, you go by that rule. Once someone becomes a hypocrite, you can't take them seriously. Simple as. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things once again, okay? The only other time in the past where Artari got triggered, just for context, was because Susan Veach gave me information, screenshots, text messages, right, for me, and it was acknowledged by Susan Veach, sister-in-law, to put out there, to present to the general public, to spread awareness, and to allow people to see what's been behind closed doors, etc. But Artari did not like that. I don't know if it's because of jealousy. I don't know if it's because she thought she had a special bond with Susan Veach and it was only a one-on-one private interaction. But you ended up getting triggered just because I was given information that she was given. So she, I guess, had an expectation, a form of entitlement that whatever she receives, only she receives it. So it does demonstrate almost like a systematic form of a hierarchical structure of breadcrumbs and who gets the information first. Once again, which we can tie back to the Dylan Rounds case and community, because that's where I initially picked up on it, was all these different creators and people, whatever, out there may receive information from a key individual in the case, within or not. And then it's how the information is distributed from there. Some people gatekeep it, and other people get very jealous and whiny when others get a hold of key information as well. It's a form of evolutionary competitiveness, wanting to be at the top and being the one and only one to receive the information to then dish it out to the general public. They don't like it when there is a form of competition, but at the end of the day, there is no victory in competition there. One is simply keeping the case alive. One has been doing that for over 2+ years with over 270 videos made, and the proof fully shows in the Dylan Rounds case. I've created over 400+ videos. Do we see anyone else doing that? No. Kind of obvious, right? So, with that being in mind and context given once again, I'm sure there'll be resistance, I'm sure there'll be whining after this video, but at the end of the day, one is talking in a monotone, balanced voice, simply explaining it for what it is, the reality, whether it's the dark reality or light reality, depends how your outlook is on it, okay? Once again, just simply defending oneself, okay? I know a few individuals will understand that. And yeah, let's just head on over to the comments regarding that video just to see what people had to say. Or the last Kenny Veach video I did, at least. We'll just see the comments there just to acknowledge. Might as well keep up to date whilst we're here in this video anyway, because it's like on the spot this. Answer any questions if possible, and see if there's anything else of interest, okay? Well, here we are. We're going to adjust it to the newest comments and just see what people have got to say in general. So first of all, Glenn showing acknowledgement. That's good. Jeff Clark with his question. Well, hopefully my video answered that earlier on. Okay. We got Joker. Great work, Ref. Appreciate that. I'm glad you understood the video and the importance behind it. There we go. Cleo, looks nice, background. By the way, so many things to say about this really Robin situation. I mean, let me know, Cleo, how much do you know about the possible situation and scenarios of how things played out? Because all kinds of ideas. I mean, this is the other thing, when Sean Horlacker and others were talking about really Robin being some kind of secret investigator or somebody trying to set Sean up, or part of the police force or something darker out there. No one was calling those people out there for theorizing that. So once again, it's picking and choosing, right, when and where to complain. Badger Life saying thank you, you're welcome. So more acknowledgement there. Confluence, shout out to Confluence, saying very unsettling about Robin, wild. Yeah, it's kind of wild, more so random. And it's the thing, when people do depart without much of a trace or explanation, it can lead to all kinds of ideas coming about, and I guess it's more strengthened and intensified when you're a part of a stronger community, which could be very alert with the slightest of movement or change, whether that be for the right or wrong reasons, you know. Kind of like if I went quiet all of a sudden, if there was real life stuff going on in real life, if there was a bad event, if someone died or if something got injured or something fatal, whatever it might be on myself or elsewhere, with that disappearance and that silence, it would trigger all kinds of responses and all kinds of chaos, right? Unfortunate, but I guess once you get involved in certain areas, you've got to acknowledge and be aware of the backlash in different ways that can follow if there is a moment of silence and if it proceeds on. Smooth Fishing here says, remember, it was supposed to be the dad, the father of the fake account, that came on and said that Robin was in a real bad shape because he was pushed off a cliff and didn't even know if he was going to make it. I kept calling him a faker. I kept saying, if you people calling me fake, I won't post the videos, lol. He also said there was another entrance at the mine shaft where the skull was, and he was also going to record that also. I knew he was a fake from the start. Yeah, fair enough. And it's the thing, on that really Robin account, the secondary one, whether it's real or not, the fact that their response and attitude would be, if questioned of their genuinity, you know, whether they're real or not, and their response is, fine, I'm not going to release the footage. Very childish behaviour, throwing the toys out the pram. You know, if you really are the real person, then you'll make it very clear. But the more, I don't know, restrictive you are, the less likely you show your face or your voice or use some kind of voice changer, like those dodgy fake interviews in the past, what we saw on the channel. That credibility keeps, you know, running away to a point where it's unretrievable, right? So look at Kenny Veach when people questioned him and said, oh, are you faking it? You know, where's the proof? Come on, do something. I mean, Kenny probably would have anyway, but, you know, you saw Kenny's response. He did try. He did try going back out there to record it, okay? If this Really Robin account already has the footage already, and all they have to do is press the upload button, it's not exactly a difficult task to do, is it? But to keep delaying it, it's kind of like milking it, in a sense. It's kind of like a form of negative reinforcement. For every time somebody questions their credibility in the case and who they are as a person, they respond back with delaying and pushing back the videos as a form of punishment, saying if you perform this negative action again, then this consequence will follow. So then people are less likely to complain in the future. At the end of the day, if you got it, then prove it, then show it. Why not? You know, if you're a part of the case, you want to keep the case alive or you want to try and solve it, then what's the point gatekeeping information then? The only time when someone technically gatekeeps it and kind of holds it in limbo is because they really don't actually have anything to begin with, but they're just making it seem like they do have something when they don't. I mean, we've seen that type of behaviour before, but there's no harm in acknowledging it. This guy called Matt saying, "Y'all think a rock fall trapped in?" He referring to there, Really Robin being trapped during a rockfall, or Kenny Veach? I mean, when hikers have gone out there, they've looked about, they've not seen any suspicious signs of rockfall or anything underneath it. What's this? Steve, behind you at 209 appears a hole. Right. Steve also says, "Here's why I think Kenny Veach was telling the truth about finding an M cave. If he were just wanting to kill himself whilst hiking through an alibi, why would he think of an M cave? He would not. He would dream up a cave with a weird vibe emanating from it, but not shaped like an M. If you ask 10 people to quietly write down a description of a cave that scared them, an imaginary cave, not one of those 10 people would imagine an M-shaped cave. I spelunked a lot over the course of my youth and never did I see an M-shaped entrance." Yeah, but I personally think that when it comes to different shaped caves, you know, in the future there could be like a capital A, an A-shaped cave, right? There's many different shaped caves out there. There's many more out there which look more mysterious, suspicious, and dodgy compared to a M-shaped cave, right? The only thing that makes the M-shaped cave, have mystery and intrigue behind it and a presence is because of the supposed vibrations and that it was deep, dark, scary, and it made Kenny Veach feel uneasy, right? The characteristics behind it besides the shape, right? So, you know, specific. You know, they could have come out with any shaped cave, right? An A-shaped cave, a U-shaped cave, all kinds of stuff, a V-shaped cave. But Kenny directly said an M-shaped cave. And the fact that there's already M-shaped caves out there in the area, it could be more genuine to what he's referring to, that he did have an experience. In the exact area, not quite sure. But, you know, as a fact, even if it's not the M cave, there are M-shaped caves in the area. It's been documented by Jeff Clark, Scott Natal, and I guess SB Vega's Adventures as well, right? And others too, Jay Chuck, Jay Silverheels. They've come across M-shaped caves, okay? So descriptively, partially, it does meet the match there when described. Steve, thank you. I enjoyed Robin's video. See, even Steve is acknowledging it, that it's Robin's video, right? So that's all fine. Steve says, why were his videos deleted? Well, there wasn't a true definitive answer as to there, really. Steve, WallerF, do you have any desire to come to the United States and Nevada to search for the cave? I mean, this is the thing. You think of practical reasons, all the practicalities and issues behind it, but on top of that, the fact that most people that have gone out there have not found a cave within the area, I mean, what are the chances of coming across one? You know, one thing that I'm interested by is the fact that Jeff Clark did come across that M-shaped cave, right? But nobody else has been able to document it on their hikes out there. Is it because they've not been intentionally looking for it, or they went at the wrong place at the wrong time? That's the only thing. You know, let me know your thoughts down below. Oh, we've got a long comment here. What does Alexia say? Really, Robin went crazy at a certain point, doing and saying strange things. In one video, if I remember correctly, he was vomiting. The first impression I had when the video came out was that he had found Kenny's body or Kenny alive, perhaps threatening him with his gun. My ideas at the first moment. Let's remember that the desert plays tricks. The heat, dehydration can create hallucinations over there in America or England. I don't think there's any deserts in England though. There are memes about oases in the desert in Italy, yes. MK, could it be a hallucination of Kenny's? And what did Robin see or suffer that made him vomit? The place where Kenny left his cell phone, if he did it, has been explored by another YouTuber. To the right of the staircase going down, there is some collapsed little stone. It looks like a passage blocked by stones. Could Kenny be down there? In fact, a little ravine must emerge somewhere. I apologise for errors. English is not my language, and I will help myself with a translator. Okay. Yeah, so it's all cleared up now. Yes, I'm wrong. Sorry. So basically, just to reconfirm, where Alexia was saying that Robin vomited on his hike out there, that's incorrect. Alexia was just simply getting mixed up with Sean Horlacher when Sean went out there in 2019, before really Robin did, okay? Sean Horlacher only becoming sick after getting close to the supposed covered up M cave when he was like leaning against it and trying to look into the holes and the cracks to see if anything was there. Shortly afterwards, walking back to his vehicle, not far away, he ended up getting sick, throwing up. But, you know, it's like divided there. Some people believe that he was poisoned or there's some kind of radiation and it's to do with military, some kind of like toxic waste dump site, and it's been emitted through the cracks and gaps, and that's how he got ill there. And other people are just simply saying that it was a little bit more natural. It's just due to the nature, the environment out there, the heat, the terrain, what you've ate, what you've drank, etc., and the body reacting badly to it. Okay? I think it's probably more of a less dodgy response. But there was a time where Sean Horlacher said he had some kind of microchip or something embedded into his shin or something, to with aliens meeting him in his bedroom. I can't remember it entirely, but some kind of wacky stuff going on out there, right? There's no harm in listening to it, because if you do brush it aside, you might miss out on something at a point, okay? Besides that, it looks like we've reached the end of the comments here. So yeah, I think all in all, that'll do for now. Just thought, might as well do the video now, get it out the way, just clear things up. And, you know, if in the future, as a heads up, if the video does randomly disappear, it was because one was forced to, but for the right reasons. As said, it's happened in the past where there's been opportunity for, if someone's got an issue, a genuine reason, and it's by the original, then all one has to do is leave a comment. Could you please do this? Could you please do that? And then, you know, it's resolved. It's really that simple. So I think many people do get things out of proportion, blow it out of proportion, get a bit emotional, a bit too reactive at times. And it's like, okay, if it is a problem and the original thinks it's a problem, then it can be resolved. Just like with the Dylan Rounds case, countless times where random people, default profiles and other certain personalities complaining, whinging, whining, rat-like behaviour, sometimes on my channel, other times in the background, sometimes gossiping, saying, you should stop, you shouldn't be doing this, and, you know, the parents wouldn't like this, the parents wouldn't like that, blah, 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 blah. It's like, if the originals have a problem, all they have to do is make it clear. It never happened, so clearly there wasn't a problem. It's as simple as that, right? There was never any comments, there was never any formal resistance. Even from the Kenny Veach case, there was never any formal resistance. It was just these random or third-party people acting like representatives, acting like important people that were issuing out these demands. And, you know, you're going to be following demands from a stranger who's got no real link to the case or family. No, it's just a bit pointless, a bit silly, right? They make a bit of a prat of themselves. But anyway, there you go. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you understood the video. Once again, just simply documenting as we go along the past and the present, because you never know, certain important stuff can disappear with time. If it can be saved and it can be presented in the future, it makes it easier to look back on and understand the case, holistically speaking, from different points of views, angles, and former people. Simple as. I'll see you next time. I don't know what the video will be, but think of something, okay? Thanks for watching. Goodbye, good night for now.